Hey, Laptop Recruiter family, how are we doing? Andy Whitehead here. Now, on this awesomely drawn whiteboard, just want to share with you the way you break Feast and Famine. So Feast and Famine is a term that one of my members used with me about maybe 4 years ago, and it comes from him. He had joined us doing around about 250, 300 for the previous decade or so. Then in his first 12 months, well, from month 3 to month 15, he did 1 million. And in his own words, he didn't drink the Kool-Aid enough in the first 3 months. So he's got that massive jump, really a 3.5x, okay? And he used the words feast and famine. So this is something I see in recruitment over and over again. You can probably relate to it. And it really comes from two key drivers. One is we've got the feast and famine mindset, which is we're doing the same thing, which will come through in a minute. And basically remember what we're doing here in recruitment. We need to bring in client leads and candidates, number 1. Number 2, convert both. Number 3, deliver the candidate past guarantee period. That's essentially what we're doing. To keep it nice and simple. I'm going to break that down into a pattern in a minute as to why sometimes breaking 1 million is problematic for a one-person business that then brings on VAs, etc. So feast and famine, first of all, is whereby we are having good months, bad months, and we're just not breaking that pattern. And if we've been a good entrepreneur, i.e., we put the diligence in, we've done the hours, we've missed family parties, we've pissed off our spouse by working late, etc. We're going to reach a ceiling. We're going to reach a ceiling. So what happens in recruitment and in search, as we know, again, there's really two sides to it. I've said this pretty much every time. We're probably one of the most difficult industries in the world because most industries deliver one product or one service at a high level. So it could be just food, or it could be just car parts. We've got to find a client and a candidate who you essentially want to marry at the same time. So we've got a double-edged sword here. So with feast and famine, what you find is, number 1 is you'll go through a feast phase, which is we're getting paid. Yes, we're getting paid. Now every cause has an effect. So if we're in client getting mode, if we're looking to get clients, so let's say that a role comes in, we've fulfilled that role, but now we've got no roles there. Or not roles that we want. So then we go into client getting mode, and that might last, a month, it might last 2 months, it might last a week, but we're in client getting mode. What we're not in is candidate getting mode. So we go through this up and down. So what normally happens is, number 1, we've got feast happening because we've been paid for that one role or for that one client. Then, excuse me, because we're back from the gym. I'm on the protein at the minute. So we're in that mold of, we've just got the client, we've got paid, bam. So feast, and it's like, shit, we've got to start again. We've got to start again. Either got to get a role, or we've got to try and place this candidate. So then we go into a famine situation. So what this means, secondly, is, as an entrepreneur, we might have consistency in our business. So across, in this gentleman's case, it's 300K. 300K times by, 10 years or so. So you could say on paper, we've got a consistent business here. Consistent business. But what we've really got is a feast and famine business, because we might go through feast in, say, January, then famine in February to March, then feast in April, and famine in May. See where we're going with this? June, etc. So as an entrepreneur, what that means to our head and our psychology is, it means that we are going to have this consistent cortisol essentially running through our bodies, adrenaline of what's going to happen next. And we're almost in hope phase that once we've nailed this, tick, that down here, it's not going to happen again. But invariably it does. So what it means as a recruitment entrepreneur is you're either in client getting mode or you're in candidate getting mode. What you really want is have a process whereby we get off the bike, and then we set up to start with, just a very simple system. So we're always bringing in leads, and we're always bringing in matching candidates. Now that often is a alien concept to a recruitment business owner, definitely to a search business. If you're a one-person business, you're looking to do both at the same time. Sometimes there's a structure of, director. Underneath it, we've got, we've got a resourcer. Underneath it, we've got an account manager. Underneath here, we might have, a VA helping, find the candidate, etc. And then underneath, we might have a VA helping with, bringing in leads, etc. And that's how often in this sort of last 2, 3, 4 years, we've taken this, it's the right approach in a lot of ways, but still what we've got is this up and down happening. And we don't want that. We definitely want that as an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, we all know it's the toughest thing in the world. You know, I've been through every up and every down you can imagine. I had some software created before Facebook, which essentially was a system which allowed, well, my gran, I was working in Scotland, but what it was software. Basically, my gran logs on, she's got all the family there, you click on a picture, then it goes straight through to their computer, it would invoke the application, and then it would ring, and I spent 30,000 on that. I had a team in India doing it, and presented it down at, not Alexander Palace, the other one. Anyway, but spent a fortune on it. Didn't come off, but I was also working full time at the time, so it's a background thing. So I've had every up and every down being an entrepreneur you can imagine. But what we learn as we get older is we want to have more predictability in our business, more predictability. And what that means is when you've got predictability, you get a better result. And that predictability comes about by having more control. To have more control, you do less things. So with Feast and Famine, the reason why this happens is because essentially, even if you've got 20 people in your business and you might have 20 desks, and depending on how you operate, and you might have 360 recruitment, you might have resources, you might have account managers, whatever it might be, but there will probably be a Feast and Famine relationship here. If you're a one-person business or under 5 people, you can definitely relate to this, 100%. So we want to remove this. I'm also cognizant, when in the old days, I used to go on site into companies, and we'd go on site with a team, sometimes being me and one other, sometimes being me, one other, and then a team of VAs. But we'd actually implement the systems, the templates, the workflow to bring in leads, to bring in candidates, then in time conversion, then in time authority, etc. And one time a director said to me, he said, Andy, listen, the way that we've always operated in recruitment is, we've always done these things. We've always done the staple things. We use LinkedIn sporadically. We go networking. We go to a little black book. Setting up a system is like trying to change a wheel on a car going 8 miles an hour. So I get that. However, it's your business, and you need to either make a decision you're going to change it, or you're going to bitch and moan about it's plateaued in 10 years' time. It might even be going down now. So it's up to you as the entrepreneur to say, right, this isn't working anymore, or it's starting to dissipate in terms of effective results. So how do we change it? Well, we change it by recognizing that if we've got this model, A, that's not a good model to be living to as an entrepreneur. B, it's not scalable. And one of the things that I usually get is what's your outcome? Well, my outcome is to get 20 bums on seats, get 20 desks, or it might be to, if there's one person business with a couple of other part-time staff, it might be to get 3 desks, or etc. No, your outcome is to get your business to 2x or 5x in the next 12 months, whatever your business is, okay? You've got a financial, and always make your outcome financial, and reverse engineer the model from there. Don't make the model your driver to get the outcome. You make the outcome your financial outcome, then you reverse engineer the steps to have the model to deliver that outcome. So never forget that. You don't want bums on seats. And as an entrepreneur, as you start to grow with more team members, you start to become an HR manager. I've had an office twice, I wouldn't ever do it again. And I've also had a big virtual team, probably too big. I made every mistake you can imagine. So focus on what the outcome is. The outcome is to hit a financial figure. This model is not scalable. Now, keeping in mind what our business is, leads, candidates coming in, then we convert both, then we deliver. That is our business. Now, how do we change it? Well, we change it by doing the following. We're saying, right, at the minute I'm doing 200K, I want to get to 700K. Right, can you do that with your current model? Well, yeah, I could probably do it if, right, don't bullshit me. Can you do it with your current model, yes or no? Yeah, I can do. Do you know what? We're not a fit. Come back when you've done your own self-analysis. Your model's not worked for the last 3 years. It isn't working now. You're telling me you're going through a divorce. I've been through every hell you can imagine. So you've got to be real with yourself. Is your model working, yes or no? If it's working, then fabulous. You do more of what works and less of what doesn't work. If it's not delivering the outcome that you want, and it's impacting your ability to act as an entrepreneur, then you've got to be cognizant of the model is not working. Now, my decade in recruitment, I've seen so many changes already. I said in the last video that when I came in, recruitment was like the wild, wild west. It was chaotic at best. It was wild, wild, wild west, and then it's sort of gone up in terms of what I consider to be each entrepreneur being operationally running the business, using the right tools at the right time. But since what's happened with COVID, it seems that it's regressed again, because so much stuff is coming to the market which is potentially damaging. People are taking wrong decisions. So let's just think about what we're doing here. We know that we need to get clients in, get candidates in, yeah? We know that our current model is not allowing us to double, treble, quadruple each year. Now we know that if we want to change our business, the model needs to change. So how do we do that? Well, someone might say glibly, well, use automation. Or you might say, well, let's start doing authority marketing. Again, what's your outcome? Reverse engineer the steps. So let's say, for example, what usually happens when someone comes to us, for me, there are some basic fundamentals, which is website, LinkedIn, this is just base profiles, a client attainment system, which is essentially overcomes all the objections of, we've got to recruit other recruitment search businesses. So the client says we can use these recruitment search businesses. They say we can use internal recruitment or HR, or we do it ourselves. Or number 3, we've got a preferred suppliers list. We've always used Dave. So website, LinkedIn profile, client attainment system, then campaigns to bring in leads now, bring in candidates now. Then you can start add on maybe one authority strategy. So it might be to get number 1 on iTunes, or you might add on a strategy whereby we bring on board a world-class speaker, but we then start to get positioning. But normally, businesses that, for example here, this gentleman who 300K and then 1 million, over 1 million, what did he do? Well, he used 2 core strategies, and normally it's no more 3 you're going to use. So with your LinkedIn profile and with your website, I'm not saying you set up automated funnels on your website. With your LinkedIn profile, I'm saying you use a template and make sure that your client can see that you're the fit for them. Because when you reach out to a client, or indeed you've got an appointment with a client and indeed a candidate, they'll run a cursory check on your website. And if you use heat map software like 𝐘𝐨𝐿, that sort of thing, you'll see where they go, how long they're there. Same with LinkedIn. And you'll be able to see straight away that people are leaving your website at a certain point. But the reality is your LinkedIn profile can be updated in 60 to 90 minutes, and your website, you don't need a new website typically, you just need to get the right text up there to match your client. Website 2.0 is where we use advanced automation, which is what I'm not talking about. So to get here, 300K to 1 million, how do we do that? Well, you go through 3 phases. So if we're thinking about, as you always should be, a financial outcome, what's your outcome? Get 10 bums on seats? Wrong. What's your outcome? To get more authority? Wrong. What's your outcome? We want to get to 1 million? Fab. How do you think you need it? Well, we think right at the minute we're converting 1 in 10 calls. We think it's still authority. Okay, tell me more. So our outcome, we want to use only 2 or 3 core projects in that first year. So let's say, for example, the project is we need more clients. Right, what's the problem with clients? Just not getting enough leads, not getting enough qualified appointments, okay, or we're not converting, or we're not getting enough candidates, or we're not, whatever it might be. So how do we fix it? Well, if we've got getting paid, and if we've got our timeline, we want to be cognizant about, right, I'm an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. Sorry guys, just keep checking my phone. My daughter's going to gymnastics today. I just want to make sure she's cool. So we want to make sure that we actually change drastically what we've been doing. We don't want this model. So how do we do it? Well, we say, right, we know that, for example, in our market, there are 10,000 clients. Would it be of use to have 9,000 plus in your database? Yeah. Would it be useful to have an automated process whereby you bring in 20 inbound inquiries per day? Yes. Would it be of use to have a qualification system like the client attainment system, which overcomes the objections before you speak to them? Yes. Right. 3 projects. So what do? We break this down into a 0 to 30 days, to 60 days, to 90-day cycle. What we do is this. We get our first set of new strategies activated. We get them activated. So we do something new for the first time. Sometimes this is going to be a spike like this. It's going to be, we've had members come in literally within 24 hours, running through one of our automated template funnels. Bam, we've got this appointment. Next day, bam, they've got the business using a conversion module. Typically, it's not going to be that direct. It's going to be, maybe a slower burn that first 30 days. So we get it activated. So we're getting these new strategies activated. And so usually it says no more than 3. But then 30 days to 60 days, what do? Now we want to get it calibrated. So what does that mean? That means in this first 30 days, we start running this automated process, or whatever it might be. It might be you using one of our webinar strategies, or it might be you using one of the candidate acceleration strategies, or it might be using one of the project management strategies. We get it calibrated, which essentially means we get it converting. So down here, let's say for example, we're getting a conversion rate of 10%. In here, we want to get that 10% maybe in week 2. So by the end of here, we've got to 10%, and here we want to get to say 10 to 20%, then to 30%, then 40%, whatever number we're happy with. Then we say, right, if we can keep performing at this number for the next year, and we know our market consists of 10,000 or 1,000, whatever it is, we know we're going to bring in 20 inbound inquiries per day. So then what we do is, naturally, is we do more of this. We accelerate it. We accelerate it. And what that means is, essentially, we do more of this. We rinse and repeat. So the problem that you've got as a recruitment entrepreneur is most don't have the mindset to do this. But on the video previously, or the one before that around scaling LinkedIn, I mentioned Peter, he 5x their business in 6 months. Just by taking this mindset, it took them 8 weeks of tweaking. What that means is, he's working 1.5 hours a day, but 8 weeks of changing a few words in an automated candidate generation campaign. That was it. But they ran it for the next year. In that first 6 months, 5x. We use the same thing over again, change the variables, we know it performs. That's it. So we accelerate, we calibrate, then we activate, we calibrate, then we accelerate. And your role, at this point, you're going to be handing over, usually to a VA. You're definitely not doing it down here. You're definitely not doing it down here. So when I speak to members and say, how's it going? What's your metrics? It'll always come back to those who have 5x in that year will come back to this understanding. And they're taking 1, 2, or no more than 3 projects. And bear in mind, we've got 250 plus different strategies. It's taken no more than just a handful in that entire year, but following this process. But recruitment entrepreneurs act with this model. That model is going to kill you. It's going to kill you because it's going to be the same thing over and over again each year, and it's going to get harder to tread water. It's going to kill you inside emotionally, or it's actually going to kill you financially. So down here, what are we actually doing? We're actually changing the direction of our business. So if we make a decision, so if we've got a direction of our ship and we take it out by 5%, 10%, 20%, take it out 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, different destination, different continent. And those who succeed get this. Now there is a but. Let's just make sure it's not Aurora. No. I keep checking because Aurora, I took her on a holiday. She's 2, she's 3, she's running the pool. She had such confidence, but this damn lockdown, she's been impacted, I think she's a little bit in confidence. So she's off to gymnastics today, so I want to make sure she's not calling for a little pep talk. Anyway, so that's what we want to do as an operational plan. Okay, so 90 days, we're going to implement this strategy, these 2 strategies. Next 90 days, we're going to do these. That's how the growth comes. That's how the 5x comes. Now, the reality is this. What will happen in each 4 weeks? So we've got a 4-week cycle, 4-week cycle, 4-week cycle. What's going to happen is this. We're going to be taking our first actions down here. So this is 4 weeks, okay? This is 4 weeks. We're going to take our first actions, and then we're going to get this positive result. Excellent, it's a positive result. Then what will happen is, it could be that we've got, say for example, we're running an automated campaign. It could be we change something in the campaign, and the result might go down. And then we go, shit, it's not working. Or it might be we add something new in. So we've added in project 1, project 2, project 3, which means we haven't got the time to focus on making sure each project works correctly. So the result goes down. So as entrepreneurs, what do? When you see things not working, you naturally say, this doesn't work. I'm going to the gym, I've got this trainer, I'm going 3 times a week, spending $40 per time with him, it doesn't work. But I am eating 4 donuts a day. So what's going on here? So naturally what happens as an entrepreneur, you always have 3 steps forward, 1 step back. So you need to be cognizant about, right, when you get the positive result, when we get that positive result, that's what we do more of. We repeat it. When we get the negative result, we stop doing it. So inside each of these cycles, you've got these mini waves. And what happens as an entrepreneur is you go through this, it's not working. Now look at the model of most recruitment businesses. It's this model anyway. And within a 4-week window, we're setting something up which will be in your business probably forever. Now yes, things are going to change. Data's going to change. Tools might change. The niche might change, might expand, might niche down. But the actual strategy we set up, the process, it'll be used again and again and again, definitely for the next few years. So having the ability to see within this window, right, I'm an entrepreneur. Recruitment is actually not my game. Recruitment doesn't pay me. Building my business pays me. Now, if you're happy at your plateau, then you've got a well-paid job. A well-paid job. If you can change your mindset to right and step back and go, right, what's going on in my world? You can start to see that's what's happening in your world. So we fix it by going, right, this changes now. My business changes now. My life changes now. And we do that by saying, this cannot continue. It is killing me. It's killing me. It's going to change by doing something different. And what we're going to do is make it world class. We've got members right now who are doing $250,000 per quarter, who've joined me doing between 10 and 50K per quarter. Is that the norm? No. But they do this. Now, the way that you switch this and you get this, and you turn this into a daily understanding. One of the things I've always had in business, and I'm not certain where it comes from, what I've always had in business is if we get a negative response, or if we fuck up, to be simple, but one of my team says, Andy, I fucked up. I love that. We've got a problem, we know how to fix it. Where I really struggle is, we've got a problem and we just can't analyse what that source is. Everything's cause and effect. You're getting paid what you are by you. Everything's cause and effect. Now, if I can't figure out what the cause is, but I know the effect is negative, that frustrates the living hell out of me. So everything we do here, so let's say for example you're running double R, one of our strategies. What will happen is you'll run it in cycle 1, and you're going to run it, so let's say week 1, you're going to get week 1 action, and then you're going to get feedback from week 1, which essentially is going to be some metrics, a handful of metrics. We look at the templates and we say tweak that, change that. Then you go through cycle 2. So the feedback is metrics, we then change it. So the action is now, we change it, we run it again. Then we get feedback again. And then we look at what the feedback is, look at the metrics, open rate, reply rate, qualified candidates, appointments as an example. Then we change it again. Look at the feedback. And what will happen is you might have cycle 1, just give you an example. Cycle 1 might be 10%. And then we've got cycle 2 might be 25%. Then cycle 3 might be 34%. So taking that feedback, go right, we've ran a campaign, we got some numbers. What do we need to change? Well, it's clearly going to be either delivery, open, reply, or appointment. There's only 4 numbers there we need to look at. What's going on? So that is how the 5x happens. So that, remember on the last video, 1.4 hours a day. As opposed to the recruitment business owners going, shit, I need more clients. Bam, 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 bam. And we're being busy, but you aren't scaling. You aren't scaling. And I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed with the word scaling because it's such a bastardized word now. But there are 3 fundamental phases I believe you go through, which is you accelerate, you get traction, then you build, you're starting to build your business, then you scale your business. So if you've got the ability to take that on board, you should be able to see that model is defunct and it's killing you. So in terms of breaking feast and famine, number 1, understand this, it's your business. If you keep doing what you're doing and you're getting marginal growth, do you want to change it? Number two, how you change it. How you change it is by saying, right, if I carry on this path now for the next year, 1, 2 years, what it's going to be, or I might add a few other little things in, I might write an article here or there, or we might send out a newsletter. Is that going to change my destination in the next 5 years, etc.? Or is something fundamentally wrong here? Or am I fundamentally missing a growth opportunity? I remember doing 13, 14 million when they come to us, team of 35 people. He took on board this exceptionally well. The team went from 35. Hey guys, sorry about that. I thought it was my daughter off to gymnastics today, and just want to check she's okay. However, it's not the case. So where we're at is he had 35 staff members down to 7. Took on board this model extremely with extreme focus. He'd also previously been a call center manager, director. So he understood the concept of, right, let's have something we can repeat over and over again. And the results spoke for themselves. 35 staff down to 7, branches 7 down to 2. The driver coming to us he was sick of actually driving on the motorway. Back to killing yourself. You know, what is your business? You know, I started a business to enjoy it. I left the corporate world and I started this entrepreneurial journey to enjoy my life and make decisions on who I work with, when I work, and give me the opportunity to have a no ceiling on my salary cap. So what's the driver here? So if you can get this concept of, right, this is my business properly, this is the actual change in the structure. So changing the car, we changed 1 wheel in the first month, second wheel, 1 wheel in months 0 to 3, next wheel 3 to 6, next wheel 6 to 9, next wheel 9 to 12 months. That's how the 5X happens. But each time we're only taking on board 1 or 2 projects. A project to bring on board clients, or to bring on candidates, or both to start with. Then the next one might be a project to bring in authority, etc. But so understanding this model. So that said, guys, sure it's been of use to you. I fully empathise if you're going through this, especially right now. But it's up to you as a business owner to say, right, is what I'm doing, am I in control of input, process, output? You know, we've got a blueprint manifesto. If you would like it, just send us a message whereby I've laid out in detail. It's extremely detailed. Just 3 strategies out of, we've got 250 plus strategies, but just 3 strategies about input, process, output. But those 3 core strategies really are a key driver for someone in the first year to get through massive jumps. But remember, always, everything in life, cause and effect. You do X, Y happens. You take out this, a vacuum is created. If you're spending time on this task, it means you're not spending time on that task. So always understand, it's all on you. It's always on you. So as an entrepreneur, I fully empathise, but also know this. As I was told by my kid's mum, it's just a very simple thing, but they say in Wales is everything is fixable. Everything is fixable. But it's only fixable, as I said before, if you can identify you've got a problem. Like one of the things I've said just before is about how if I've got a problem in my business or a problem in my life, I know what the problem is, I love that. My team think I'm crazy. Someone says I fucked up, I love it. Because it's great. It's like, great, we know what the problem is and how to fix it. What I struggle with is we don't know what the problem is. We know we've got an outcome, an effect, which isn't what we want. We don't know what the actual cause is. So you've got to be cognizant about what your business is, what the causes for it are, but also be clear about what the outcome is. What the outcome is you want, and know that every activity you take is a cause and effect, and it means you're doing this, it means you can't be doing that. And the mindset that I normally see in a recruitment search business owner, definitely someone who's got to about $250,000, is we're too busy to change anything. We're too busy to change anything. I want to speak to you, Andy. I've been following you for a few years, but we're too busy right now to change anything. And I feel a little bit sad, because I know they will always be on that treadmill, And then, you sort of make a decision for both parties that it's probably best we don't speak again if it keeps happening. I'm cool with people and I expect to be called back. But understand this, if you've got your car, your business, change 1 wheel every 3 months, you're going from 50 miles an hour to 500 miles an hour, potentially. So with that said, guys, sure this has been of use to you. So breaking feast and famine in your recruitment search business, moving from this model into this model. Understanding that in this model, each 4 weeks then break down into this model, which is like this model. But what we're doing here though is getting something activated, bam, let's do more of it. We've tried this, it's not worked, right, we stop doing it, or we get Andy, his team, we check it, and then we get it fixed. So, bam, it starts working. We do more of it. And remember the video previously, the one before that about Peter, 1.5 hours a day, 5x. So guys, with that said, if you'd like to know more, if you're at a place whereby you're ready to change or move forward, or you can relate to this model, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. Go to the Laptop Recruiter group. If you're in here, how you doing, fam? Send me a message. If you're not yet in the Laptop Recruiter Facebook group, join it. Now I don't particularly love social media in terms of the way that it operates nowadays. Definitely worried about how my kids are going to be growing up. However, the reason for using that platform for that community, which is going to grow rapidly, is because it's very usable. So I don't particularly use Facebook personally. However, it's a good platform. We've got our own platforms we use for our members, of course, but as building a public community, Laptop Recruiter Facebook group, join it, come say hi. Each of these videos, ping me a message. Want to know more? Ask me. So guys, with that said, I wish you a big jump from legacy transition into the new world. RecruitmentMarketingInternational.com is where you find us. RecruitmentMarketingInternational.com is where you find us. You head to the Laptop Recruiter on iTunes, about 130 odd podcasts there. Head to YouTube, there's a few hundred there, I believe. Reach out to us. So with that said, Laptop Recruiter family, see you on the next one.